There are some documents that need to be passed. We have the county physical strategy paper, and we also have the debt resolution, which we're calling the debt management strategy paper. So we had not passed the debt management strategy paper, and that is what was tabled in the morning and discussed this afternoon. Now that it has been passed, the report has gotten enough support. It has passed now. It paves way for us now to consider the budget estimates, which we shall do it next week. The big issue was about the debt that has been put in the debt strategy paper. From the members' observation is that the debt has not been going down yet. They know that they have been appropriating monies for payment of debts, yet the debts still either increase or they remain the same. And as we've heard, they have appropriated for the last 7 years close to 1.5 billion. They have appropriated 1,477 million. But the observation is that they have not seen the debt coming up. We've had the recommendations. They're saying some of the debts that have been paid in the past have been repeated. You've had some members who were councillors in the last regime before the constitution saying that they are fully aware that their council did not have any debt, and therefore they are wondering what these debts that are being mentioned here and spoken about are. The biggest problem, I think, has come up on the issue of the legal fees that have been recurring. So that is what the report says. Therefore, because now they have removed that amount of money that had been put, because the executive wanted 450 million for the payment of those debts. They have said the only debt that they're going to consider is the tax debt, the KRA debt, for now. So once the issue has been looked into and the debts that have been verified, then a supplementary budget can be brought in to pay for those verified debts. They have also requested that I form an ad hoc committee alongside the budget committee to look into that matter. And I promised them I'll communicate to them next week on the same matter. Yeah, so people of Nakuru should not be worried. The budgeting process is now on course, and as you've seen, they are now scrutinizing these documents very thoroughly. But you've heard the committee has also said that they are frustrated because this document came in February. They were supposed to table it latest by end of March, but they've been trying to get information, the breakdown of the people to be paid or the people who owe us, but they are not getting. So they accepted that frustration until now. They came up with that decision now because we don't have to hold. The executive is not bringing that list, so let us remove this amount, put it under another vote. Then once they have been verified, the monies shall be reappropriated.
I'm George Kiere, MCA Kihingo, representing the good people of Kihingo. And my issue to do with the debt resolution strategy paper is that most of the debts that were put in that debt strategy papers are not genuine debts. Somebody is sleeping in his job. They cannot be able to articulate and show us what is really supposed to be paid and who is supposed to be paid. We take foul on that, and we are seeing, as we were debating, there was a chairman for finance by then, Honorable Wanango, and he's clearly saying that Naivasha, the defunct Naivasha Municipal Council, they did not have any debt, but in the paper it is showing that there is a debt of more than 130 something million. So what we are just saying, we are saying that let the truth be revealed. If there are real true debts, we know they are true debts, but those ones that are just put there so that we can sink Wanjiko's money in the pocket of some people, we should not allow that. We are not going to relay, we are not going to relax until the truth is known. We are very sure that something somewhere is fishing. Because if you look at those debts and the way they have been done, you ask yourself so many questions. But my most important question I'm asking is that the county assembly has appropriated 1.4 billion for the payments of the debts, but what has been paid is 1.3. A whopping 95 plus million shillings has not been paid. But where is it? Because it has already been appropriated. It was in the budget. Why is it not being paid? Somebody is sleeping in his work. We must sit down and we must put toes to the CEC in charge of finance and planning and his CEOs. There are some game they are playing, and we are not going to be part of the game that they are playing. We are going to stand with Wanjiko. No money shall be lost.
Leo nimefurahi kuwa katika hii bunge because I have seen neighbors wamejua mandate yao ni nini. Wame debate that report without marriage, bila kupendelea upande huu ama upande ule, na wakatoka na solutions zile zinastahili. Kwanza tumesema hakuna kulipa deni hata moja. Zile pesa tumeletewa hapa tulipe. Mimi nimeshagana, nimeshukuru Mungu. That's why I was spotted to come back in this house. Sababu kama sige kuweko, sijui vile wangesema. I was the chairman of finance Naivasha municipality, and I know na niko na ushahidi ya kwamba we paid all the debts. Na money was left in account. Na during transition authority, that money was transferred to Nakuru county government. And I remember the first vehicle which was bought by the then county secretary, Mr. Motari, was bought using that money which came from Naivasha. So, ninajua hatukuwa na debt, na kuandika ya kwamba Naivasha tulikuwa na 102 million, hiyo ni ukora, na nimeita fraud scheme. Wametengeneza ya kula pesa katika county. And I thank God ya kwamba members wamesimama kidete na wakasema no ni no, na hakuna pesa italipwa.
My name is Peter Palanga, representing Olkaria Ward. Today we've been looking at debt resolution or management paper. We've looked at a number of debts from the county. We're only surprised. I personally am surprised to see that the debts running from 2013 from the local authorities then, 4 years, 6, 8 years down the line, the debts are still pending. Unfortunately, from the same document that we have been given, the county government or through the county assembly has appropriated some 1.4 billion Kenyan shillings in line to paying the debts. Surprisingly, the county government so far it has paid around 1.3. To mean even the amount of money that we have appropriated has not been fully utilized. We have a balance of 95,360,920 Kenyan shillings, which is not explained as to what it was used for. So that raises some questions. This amount of money was appropriated for that same purpose, but still the amount of money is not that has been used is not commensurate to the amount of money allocated. Number two, we have some pending bills in regard to statutory deductions. This was money that was supposed to cater and to pay for the employees that were working there. 8 years down the line, still the county government is presenting a paper claiming some debts have not been paid to these employees. Some of them have retired, some of them may have died, some of them may have resigned. So without an attached list as to who are being paid, how do we get to know whether those employees are still in existence or they are not in existence? So I think it's very important that we need to get the attached list as to who are these people being paid. When we are being told that there are some suppliers and contractors, yes, within that list there are genuine suppliers and contractors which we think they should be paid. But again, we cannot approve a budget blanket in terms of how do we ascertain the services rendered by these people. Who are these contractors? At what point do they contract? Against which amount of money? It cannot be just like a blank check that we are just approving the amount of money in form of pending bills without knowing who are they, whether they exist, whether they did supply services to this county or not. So these are the nitty-gritty details that we need to know. And as an oversight entity, being a MCAs, we need to be told, because this is taxpayers' money. This amount of money can be channeled into development to our respective wards other than using the money in the name of paying debts that could not have existed. I remember, for example, I was within the budget, the finance committee in Naivasha. And I remember then when I was elected here, Naivasha Municipal Council was the only entity that had money within the accounts. And therefore we were forced to transfer some money from the municipal account to the county government by then. Of course, the signatories were Motari, Mungaya and the rest. So how then can it turn that we are having a debt of over 102 million? It is not explained. It's not possible. So we need those figures to be ascertained so that we get to know, are these figures real or they are booked figures?
My name is Karanja. I come from Naivasha East. Na mimi ni MCA wa huko. Today we are discussing about this paper ambayo ni ya madeni. And wakati tulikuwa tunajadili, we have seen from the report of the committee ya budget. Ikakuja na report ya kusema ya kwamba it is actually true that the county government of Nakuru, through this budget, wanted to defraud the county of the money. In actual sense, from the report, they have classified what ought not to be paid and what ought to be paid. Hao watu walikuwa wanauliza 445 million ambazo they were saying they were supposed to clear pending bills and debt. Some debt wanasema ni za zile different county authorities ambazo zilikuweko. Wakasema ya kwamba wanataka kulipa, ati hawakulipwa salary, wanasema ati kulikuwa na kesi ambazo zilikuwa zimejadiliwa na hazijalipwa. So those cases zilikuwa zina amount to 3 or 4 million ati tuwalipe. So wakati budget committee imeenda ikaangalia, ikaona ya kwamba it is true that this government imelipa some dubious payment na ambazo ziko kwa report page 21. Inasema they are dubious ambazo payment ambazo tayari county government imelipa. Then inasema hata zile auditor general alisema zilipwe, zimelipwa. So we are asking, na hapa diposa tunauliza EACC na watu wa DCI waende kwa ofisi ile waangalie hizi pesa zilienda wapi. County government from 2014 imekuwa ikitega pesa. It has been appropriating money to pay debts. Up to today, you have heard the executive were unable to explain where the money has gone to. This is against Chapter 6 of the Constitution. And when this goes against Chapter 6, it is not Karaja who ought to call for impeachment. It is the report. Remember, this is not the first report. There was the report that clearly stated that the centralization of procurement was illegal. When we told the governor and his team, they said that okay, ati sisi ni makatels. Sasa hii ni mimi nimeandika. Hii ni mimi nimeandika man the same budget. So what we are saying is this, that the report put some grievous questions on what ought to be done. Therefore sisi tunauliza, can there be forensic report kwa hizi ofisi tangu wakati serikali iliingia mpaka sasa, tuone ya kwamba ni wizi kiasi gani. Kama wangeweza kuiba hivi, kama hatugeangalia na tugeona wameiba gapi ambazo hatujui, can there be forensic audit so that we can know the amount of money that has been built from the county coffers without our knowledge?